Here we go.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. I don't know if you can see him yet, but this is Egbem Biwan Munjimbo coming to you on Vosa World Radio as well as the YouTube channel, depends on where you're listening or watching. And I am excited. I think it shows on my face already. I am super excited to have the gentleman. I don't know, I should call him uncle, big brother. I don't know what title I should give him, but his name is a household name. It still is, it was, and always will be a household name for anybody who of English expression from Cameroon. I'm going to just go ahead and let him introduce himself to us, to the viewers, and to the listeners. So go ahead, sir, and let the people know
Well,
who. Mhm.
I have a Bali friend who calls me Ni. So
Ni.
I didn't turn that down. So whatever you want to call me, but I am Asonglefac Nkemleke, born in the place called Flower in what is the BLM division today.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Because it used to be Manu Division before that.
Yes.
Yes, it's
It
been
was
part of
part
Manu
of the
Division.
division, yes. When
Mhm.
politics was still not what it is today,
Mm.
the world was better than it is today, according to me.
And I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. They say people tend to look back and say, okay, the good old days, the good old days. In our case, it's very much so.
Very
Very
much
much
so.
so. Mhm.
Very much so.
That's very much the case. So
Yeah.
welcome to this impromptu, informal kind of chat we're about to have. I wouldn't call it an interview because it's not the kind you as a professional would be used to. It's just me chatting with Ni today because
I wouldn't want you to submit me to an interview. So a chat is great. A chat is great.
that is it. And if I have to let the cat out of the bag, we got here on Zoom and started to chat already. And so, because that was before the agreed time for the interview.
Yes.
So I had to cut him short and say, please, don't say one more word. Because even what we're talking about was already something that I would have loved everybody to just join in and hear. Because
Yeah.
you sent a text that was saying, Mr. Fonkem was,
That's
this is
yes. Funk
Fonkem.
sisters, yes.
And I went, whoa, because that is the headmaster that I knew. In fact, my mother was headmistress in that government bilingual primary school. She
Yes.
came after him. And
Okay.
so I was already excited just to hear you mention that name. It already brings back a lot of memories. A lot of
That is
memories.
someone I met in Yaoundé, or he met me in Yaoundé because I went to Yaoundé in 71. I think he came in 72. And we bonded as Libyan people, Bangwa people at that time. And gradually we started our village meeting in that Yaoundé.
Wow. You see, that connection with the Bangwa meeting, let me explain, because the Folemus that was the
There
few
you
families
go.
that we met in
Yes.
Yaoundé, because we got there in 69. They were
Yeah.
already there. I think they got there in 67 or 68. By the time I was living in the university time there, that Bangwa meeting was now holding in Chinga in their home.
That's
Because
right.
I lived with them briefly, and we just knew that Sunday, all the benches will come out.
That was the first compound I lived in when I went to Yaoundé in December 1971. Yeah, because I got to
Wow.
Yaoundé with my late uncle, not the late one, but with my uncle past midnight on the night of December 29. And we went straight to his compound, spent the night there, and that is how my life in Yaoundé started.
What a small world.
It's a big,
A small world. So we have both been let me call it happy willing tenants in the under the Folemu roof.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Because I had to stay there for a little bit too, because our parents were very close. The families are still
I
very
know,
close.
I know, I know.
Oh wow.
Those are
Now
sweet memories, sweet memories.
look, that's why I don't know how this chat will go, because it will go everywhere. You mention one thing and my mind goes off over here. You
That's
mention
right.
another thing and off I go. Because
Yes,
the people who are listening to us, I know they know the name from the radio.
that's
What
right.
people don't understand about why we are so fascinated with the radio is because now they have all kinds of gadgets. They have TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, TV, all kinds of a million channels. What they don't understand that in our time, there was nothing besides the radio.
It was the radio.
There was the radio. Well, there were newspapers too.
Yeah, there were
But
news
talking correct. But talking about this Yaoundé
readers were few.
context,
Yes,
Sorry, please.
Readers of newspapers were few. Only civil servants used to read papers, or a few interested people in the public. But generally, newspapers were there, but hardly had readers.
Correct. You had Cameroon Outlook with Akwaya there, and then the Times. That was pretty much it. Cameroon Times.
Yes.
And then we are talking about Yaoundé. And so those papers were printed in West Cameroon.
In Victoria.
So, in Victoria.
Yes.
You see. So before you see one, it's not as if now you can say somebody just take me a picture and send it to me on WhatsApp. What WhatsApp? There was nothing like that there.
There was nothing like that.
So we couldn't see those then. There was just Cameroon Tribune, which was the official thing there in Yaoundé. And it was kind of dry. It wasn't really telling you the juicy news that you could have wanted to hear. So we not
the Akwaya news stories. Yes.
Yes. So we depended so much on you. That is why it is a pleasure. I will start with a thank you. Thank you so much for being the people that kept us informed. Because even then, telephones were not what they have now. We have a portable phones you can carry along, smartphones and stuff. Then it was the rotary phone, and please, you would pick up that thing, and you cannot start dialing yet because you have to wait if there's a dialing tone.
Yes.
Or not, which there almost wasn't ever a dialing tone. Yes. So, and then why are you calling all the way in Boy and stuff? So it would be the radio that we would listen to.
That's right.
And you were the voices on it. We got the news, the local news from you. We got the international news. Apollo 11 has landed on the moon from you all. We got tidbits and stuff from you all. So what I need to say is to thank you and thank all of your peers at the time, because we knew your voices, we knew your names. We didn't get to see your faces as much because there was no TV at the time.
There was no TV. There was
yes. Okay, do you mind giving us a little bit of what happened prior to your getting on the radio?
Well, as I said earlier, I got to Yaoundé in December 1971.
Mm-hmm.
And this, from January 1972, I was this little boy, let me say it so, to be honest, because I left as a college a very small boy, small, and of course, I was going to church in Asonglefac, first of all in Njongmele, and then eventually we had church, Catholic church in Asonglefac. And gradually, my uncle said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to complete my advanced levels because I didn't have them the first time.
Yes.
So I want to write my advanced level and see if I can go to the University of Cameroon in Yaoundé." That was the only university. So he said, "No problem." And he ordered lectures from Wolsey Hall in England, which served as my guidance. I used those notes. I wrote economics and history. And I aced history with A grade and economics with C grade. And that paved the way for me to go into the University of Cameroon in Yaoundé, which was not the direct entry because I wanted to be kind of professional. I'd been listening to people like Mark Nebo, I'd been listening to people like Bob Fobin, I'd been listening to people like Peter Isoka on Radio Cameroon. So I said, but why can I not also go in there? I did not try to go in through the back door or through some recruitment exam. I just said, no, I need to be a professional by the time I go in. So I wrote the entrance exam into the International Higher School of Journalism, ECG, as it was called at that time.
That's what it was called.
We were 150 candidates or so at that time. Or I think it was 250 candidates. And they selected 15 of us from Cameroon because it was an international school at that time. And we had to have 60 students. So Cameroon had 15 and the other countries had to provide.
Correct.
So I was one of the 15 that was chosen for ECG in Yaoundé. The good thing is that I was one of the few from English-speaking Cameroon. There were 5 English-speaking students. I was one of the 5. The 4 others were from the Northwest province. I was the only one from the Southwest province. But we bonded very well when we got into that school. So that is how it started. We went to school. We had 3 years of studies. After the 3 years, we graduated in 1977, and I joined the radio. Luckily, as somebody already trained, I had my friend Peter Isoka, no, not Peter Isoka, Peterson Yu of blessed memory, who was already in radio. He had started already. So I joined the radio in October 1977. And in November 1977, I formally started work. And you know what? The same names that I mentioned, some of them were there and they guided me. Peter Isoka had just left, Bob Fobin had just left, but Mark Nebo was there. Paul Codder was there. These are the people who guided me, my first steps in Radio Cameroon. Paul Codder actually took me in as a little brother. He said, Asong, come with me. I do luncheon date. So what you will do is you will be reading local stories from Southwest and the Northwest during luncheon date. So I said, no problem. Gideon Tucker was editor of the news, and he said, you will be doing our news summaries. And on Sundays, you will be reading BBC scripts on our program, Cameroon Report. It was Cameroon Report when I joined. It later became Cameroon Calling. Yes. Yep. So those are the early days, if you want to know. I don't know if there's some more that you wanted to know about the early days.
You're welcome to just keep talking. I'm sitting here smiling and bubbling away because those are the names, as you mentioned, those names, those are the names I so know. Those are the names we listen to.
Yep. And I don't want to forget people like the ladies. I mean, there was Frida Kima.
Correct. Who did Songs of Faith. Songs of Faith in the...
There was Peps in Chair, who happened to my region, so we spoke the same language. She took me in as a little brother also. And then there was Mrs. Olivia Shang. Yeah, those are the people, the ladies and the men who guided my first steps in Radio Cameroon. And not to forget my little, or not my little, but my big sister, she was called, oh no, look at that, Tamko.
Anna Tamko, so she called, yes. Whose daughter, Florence Tamko, or Sisaku Tamko, later on also, yes.
Yes. So those were the early people I met in Radio Cameroon at that time, forgetting, of course, the French speaking, whom I don't remember the names, but whom I remember I worked with. They were friends. I mean, we were like a team. We were all like a team. We did not work with people looking to stab others in the back. No, we worked as a team.
And we felt it. We sensed it.
We sensed it.
We sensed it. We the listeners to the thing, sensed it. And the few that we got to see in person, that's what we knew was happening there. It's a kind of a different world now, but that's what you see, now I'm getting to see you, when I say see you now for the first time. But then you feel like an uncle, you feel like an older brother and uncle that I've always known, though. Yes. You see, it's a thrill to see you, but it's something you just knew the name because the name came out of that little transistor radio with the antenna.
Yeah.
You put on what we had was a radiogram too, and those are the voices that we heard. You just mentioned them. I don't know whether you were there already by the time when they used to do some drama series, like I remember those things, but early on they used to have like recorded, would I call it a play or theater? When you mentioned Peps and Chair, I remember her voice being on that little series that they used to do.
Yeah.
Probably that was after later on. By the time you got there, they had already stopped because it was pretty early on. I was so captivated.
Early on. I didn't meet it. Yeah,
I was so captivated by those things. It probably had. There was also somebody else called William Esapebong.
Yes.
I used to hear that name.
Yes. He worked with us, but he had to go to London as the attaché in the embassy. He was the press attaché in the Cameroon embassy in London. So he worked there for quite some time before coming back to Cameroon.
I see. That's the name that I just that I remember too.
No, I remember him. We were about the same height, so I remember him very well.
He's a smallish person. Yes. I remember him. Yeah. I remember that much as well.
That's right.
This is amazing. So you started off in Radio Yaoundé.
Yes.
There used to be the French programs, and then you'd have the English programs, the news itself. But then there were other programs that we had there, like you mentioned, Auntie Olive Shang. She did the Calling the Women.
Yeah.
There you go, Calling the Women.
Yeah.
I can even sing all of those jingles because you used to even have the one that will go half the world is woman, and then
That's
they go
right.
half the world is
Yeah.
those jingles.
And we
They
had
were,
changing agriculture with oh, look at me forgetting the name already. Yes,
oh
but
my
the name will
goodness.
come back. The name will come back.
I hope it does, because I had
Yeah.
forgotten all about that program till you
Yes.
mentioned it now. Because these
Changing.
were the days of the Green Revolution,
Yes.
where they used to go. The agri show used to happen from province to province.
It used to. It used to.
Yes.
The last agri show was actually in Marwa in 1987. Yeah, it's 1987 or 88. I was still stationed at that time in Garwa, in Marwa. So I remember
Wow.
the last agri show that, well, the last one actually took place in Bolova, but the real full-fledged agri show was in Marwa before the one that ended the whole thing in Bolova.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Those are things that you say that, and people are now like, what? But that was our life. Those are the
That
things
was
that
our life. That was our life. Yeah, we grew up in those things, and it was part of the nation building that we had at that time. Things were happening because they were building the country through those projects.
True. Very true. Very true. And then it kind of synced with what we're also learning in school. You see the SN Tita series that we had there.
That's
You'd
right.
learn
Those books. Those
those
books.
books.
Yes.
We had the readers that will teach you the same kind of thing. So it was a whole way of life, which was amplified now by listening to these things in the radio. Because, okay, even in Yaoundé there, when you were doing the programs, on luncheon date, the part will come when they will call somebody from the province to chime in with their report. And then sometimes you will go, they'll say Radio Boya, and somebody will come in from Radio Boya and give their report about what is going on there locally in their own part of the world. Then they will say Radio Bertois, and somebody will come in from Bertois. Then they'll say Radio. At the time, there wasn't a
Garwa.
radio. Yes, there wasn't a
There
Radio
was
Bamenda. It
not
was
yet.
just
Radio Bamenda came after 1978.
correct.
Yes.
So Radio Boya was supposed to give the news that came from all of the English speaking.
Northwest.
Correct, correct. And sometimes they'll say over to you to somebody in one of those places, and you are there.
Yeah. And that name has just come back. Our changing agriculture, Wilfred Nkemleke.
Wilfred. There you go.
Yes.
There you
so
go.
Came back. Yes. So
yes.
That said, our calling the provinces was a kind of thing that I think the then president had wanted the nation to reflect as one at one time of the day or something.
Right,
so those programs were created. There was Cameroon Magazine in French, and then Luncheon Date in English. And those programs, they called the provinces so that reports could be given by reporters on the different, from the different stations.
It was a wonderful idea, because that's what we felt like. Yes. We got the news, we got to know what was happening in those various places, even though, so each person now listened to with more interest, I guess, from the era that concerned them. That's right. After the 1972 now, when all the transfers started happening, more Anglophones were coming to the French-speaking parts of the country. There began to be more and more news that concerned people of English expression, yes. Even in those various places, not just in Boya, not just Bamenda. Yes. Yes.
That's right.
Oh, another name I just flashed through my mind all of a sudden. There was Ngewi Asunkwan.
Ngewi Asunkwan, yeah, Ngewi Asunkwan, yes.
Right.
He was in Boya, and then I think he transitioned to Yaoundé and then back to Boya. In those days, they used to move journalists around quite much. Yes.
And talking about that, also talking about moving from Boya to Yaoundé has reminded me of the professor we just lost, Francis Wete.
Yes, that's right. That's right. He was my senior lecturer in the School of Journalism in Yaoundé when I started the School of Journalism in 1974. 1974. Yeah, 1974. Yes.
Yeah, because before he became an administrative person, he was a radio person.
He was a radio person, yes. He started his career actually in Radio Boya.
Exactly.
Yes. One of those founding fathers of Radio Boya. Yes.
You said that, and my mind is just going everywhere. you said that, and instantly you said Radio Boya, and
Yeah.
That just flashed into my head. Oh my.
Those days, Radio Boya
Oh,
was the leading English-speaking language station in Cameroon. It was the
it was.
leading station in those days. Yeah,
It
before
was.
Radio Bamenda came eventually in 1978. Yes.
It was. It
Yeah.
was. And I remember feeling, when they'd call on Radio Boya for the report and everything, and then I would get tense about when they start doing the obituaries. Because you
Yeah,
see,
that's right. Yes.
we lived out there in Yaoundé, and then you didn't get to hear news. And sometimes our parents would react because they'll hear the passing of somebody, and it will be a disaster. They'll say, "Oh,
Devastating.
yes,
Devastating time.
my
Yes.
mom is shouting, crying. People are saying like whatever it is." So that it used to.
What's going on? What is going on?
And
Yes.
sometimes they would head on for the funerals back there. They would not necessarily take us with them, but as they lost people, so it was. The memories are just something else. Like
Something.
how I had the trauma of
Yeah.
when that obituary thing starts. I'm like, hey, I hope today something's not going to
No,
come out of there that's going to cut, because they would normally not have heard. Many
yeah.
of the times you got that news straight out of the radio.
Out of the radio.
Who would
Yeah.
have called you to tell you? With what?
First of all, the phones were not there,
Yes,
especially in the villages. I mean, the villages, they had no phones. The phones were mainly in the big cities like
correct.
Bumba, Victoria, and Boya.
So
Yes.
it was whatever got to Radio Boya, which when Radio Boya broadcast, that we got to hear sometimes about what had happened out there.
Yeah.
Sometimes not so good news, other times great news and stuff. But it was, I don't know, I just doff my hat or the head ties to you all there, because the quality of the programs, you just mentioned it there, the news itself was top notch. At that time, you could say to somebody, I know that I've used this word correctly because I heard it on the radio.
There you go. There
you,
you
you,
go.
you- you're arguing with somebody and they say, I know that this is the correct word. And you say, I'm sorry, I don't want to as they say, diss anybody, but I have heard
Not
some
to
things that I'm
cut you
going.
short, not to cut you short. A month ago, last year, if a brother from the village met me, and when he heard my name, he ran across the hall to hug me because he said, you pronounced my name well when the GCE results were being read over Radio Boya. I said, but who are you? So he mentioned the name. I said, I don't remember those things. Those were days gone by, long time ago, when the GCE results were still being read over radio. Yeah, so those are memories that we keep when we meet the people and they start reacting and telling us what happened.
What we remember, because that
What we
used to be
remember.
it. You
Yes.
would get the news and they will read from center number so and so thing passed in this number of papers, and we are all sitting
Yes.
there shaking,
Yes.
waiting for the thing to come. I still think that was well, I guess this one now you just find out neither here nor there thing. That was, I guess it's a matter of choice or what
So
one is used to, but it
time
was
changes everything, as they say. So time changes and we change
right,
time. Some
right.
of us agree to the changing times. Some people don't agree to changing times. But then the times have to change. Things have
They
to
have to
change.
change.
Yes.
And you fare better if you're somebody who can adjust and adapt to what is
Yes.
new and do the best you can with what you've got.
That's right.
Because I'm looking at it now and saying, I wonder how those, because at a certain time you hear the even the jingle that they start announcing the news, the tape is wearing off or it's beginning to sound funny.
Yes. That's fun,
It's
sounding very funny.
and I'm wondering, I know the equipment
And
cannot be the best.
to tell you the truth, if you visited Radio Boya in those days, you will go home crying because things were not really as good as they ought to have been. The journalists and the announcers and the broadcasters, they were doing their best to make sure that those programs came out in a perfect way. Imagine somebody like Aaron Goe of blessed memory, may he rest in peace, who did meet the patients. This was an elderly person, not elderly in terms of too much age, but mid-age person who would take the recording machine, hire a car, go to Bamenda or go to Mbengwe, go to I don't know where, and meet the patient, because he wants to meet patients in the hospitals, talk with them, provide them with that comforting solace that comes from only somebody like Erongwe knows how to do it. And
exactly.
there were times he would say, Mama, can you sing? The mama would start singing and he would join in, sing with that mama. And it rendered health to those people whom he met in the hospitals. Our Meet the Patients was a program of great standing for Radio Boya. And it did not die until Erongo went on retirement. Even when he went on retirement, Simon Kenkwanyo, I think is also of blessed memory, also continued the program. He continued it for a while, but times were changing, equipment was failing, so it had to come to an end somehow.
What a pity. What
Yes,
a pity. It was something. You described it, we knew a lot. They said, Mommy, how? Then they say, I just born. They say, you born baby or you born boy?
Yes, that's right. You born baby or you born boy?
You born boy. Instead of born a baby, then they say, you go like for Saroti, people, you go, she will list the people. You could hear the joy in the what it has done for them. It was therapeutic. That's a big word for it, but for real.
It was.
And then that family listening too. Can you imagine how happy that they had their auntie or their mother or their on the radio?
On the radio, yes.
Talking about greeting them, saying hello to them. Yeah. It meant a lot. And the rest of us listening who didn't know the patients or anything, it still warmed our hearts to hear it.
Yes. And the greatest of the network programs, I will not hesitate saying it, was Cameroon Report. It had nothing to do with the common man or the man on the street. We did not have those things we call Vox Pop now that would go around interview people, but we had the journalists who reflected the feelings of the people as per each province or as per each program that they touched. I mean, they wrote their papers, yes, but they always investigated, they always had the facts and made sure that what they brought to the radio could be verified, could be justified by any means, by any person, because the times were not easy. The journalism of the 1970s and early 1980s the journalism was not easy because the times were trying. The times were trying. Many people will not know that some of us survived because we were determined to do it. I went to radio not because I wanted to make a name. I went to radio because I wanted to inform people the way I learned in school, the way journalism teaches us. Verify your facts, present them as audibly as you can and as clearly as you can to the people. So the people, because you are like a teacher, you are teaching the people certain things in the world and in their lives.
Mm-hmm. Now people may not get the idea. I keep on going back to that because now they just tell you, Google it.
There
wasn't a Google.
There was no Google.
They say, you would even had an encyclopedia in their own house to be looking up stuff.
That's right.
The kind of you went to the whole University of Yaoundé's library. Look, I don't know if it was even bigger than the living room, and you'll go and take a book. Some pages of it have already been cut out.
Yeah, that's right. Students are funny people, so they go, instead of reading the book, they go and cut off the pages and deprive other people of the knowledge.
Yes. So except you went to the British Council Library, which some of us went to, the American Cultural Center that was there, which, okay, that's already because if you are living in Yaoundé and you have those access to those things, or the Alliance Française thing there in Boya. If not, information was hard to come by.
Was hard to come by. And to acknowledge what happened to me as I was preparing to go to School of Journalism, the British Council and the American Library were the two places that helped me to prepare myself to write and pass that entrance into the School of Journalism in Yaoundé. It wasn't an easy exam, but luckily I made it.
That's okay. I'd accept your luckily term on. That's not luck.
At that time it was luck because there was nothing like. First of all, you have to have an oral interview,
right?
That goes along with the exam.
Mm-hmm.
So if you pass the written and then the orals, then you are lucky. Because some people sat in the jury not to make you feel comfortable, but to scare you and make you feel bad and maybe fail your interview. But it didn't happen to me. I thank God. And I say, well, those days were the trying days. But the determination to be a journalist, to be as informed myself as I should be before informing the people, was something that motivated me a lot.
And pushed you on. I know what you mean about those times. There was a mentality then that to make education, school tough, people, a professor would be happy to say, or a lecturer would be happy to say, people don't pass my class, people don't pass my class, and I'm going. In today's world, that is not a compliment at
That's
all.
a compliment. It's not a compliment.
People are not passing your class, then you're a bad teacher. That's what it is.
That's
But
right.
the idea it used to be what they call here a gotcha thing, like and make it difficult, and then you were not able to pass. So that the idea was to be tough. I'm a tough teacher. You cannot pass my class, which was not
Not the way it should be. That's not the way it should
correct.
be.
You
Yes.
should be wanting to you're there to impart knowledge, and so you should be proud when that knowledge has been received and imbibed and can now be put to good use.
That's right.
Is the whole idea. But I know what you're talking about because I too went to Guayaquil at the time of that university. There was still just that one, no SOA, and I don't know my way around Yaoundé 1, Yaoundé 2, and 3 or 4. I don't know how many there are.
We didn't have those. We didn't have those.
No, it was the one university there. And even when I was going to school there in primary school, there was still the one university that my uncles and aunties were attending, with the limited number of faculties before QS came along too, and that was going to be the school for doctors, for the School of Medicine. All of those things were just coming along as the country was developing and growing. Yeah. So we got to hear the programs. We didn't know who sat there. How did it work? If you could give us a little bit behind the scenes kind of a thing. Did somebody say, I have an idea. I think I want to name it this. And who wants to come along with me? And let's do this. How did it work? You can pick any program and tell us know the genesis of it or how it functioned.
Creating programs was more of an individual initiative. Some individuals had the concept of some idea that some program they want to start, and they will propose it to the station manager or to their chief of programs, who would then propose it to the chief of program station manager, and the station manager would say, oh, but that's a good idea. Let's see how it works. How are you going to do this? How are you going to you want to conceive it? How do you want to make sure that you have the elements that will provide 30 minutes of broadcast time? So you are not just taking the program because you want to come and sit there and say, I'm Asonglefac Nkemleke and start talking. No, because you want to tell them facts about what you are talking about. Like when I got back to Buea in 1984 or 1994, I don't remember, one of those years, because I passed through Buea 3 times. That is something. After I went to Yaoundé, when I became station manager in Buea in 80, then I left in 85. I went 86 to Marawa to start Radio Marawa. I came back to the United States. I came to the United States as a Fulbright Fellow. I studied as a Fulbright Fellow at the American University, got my master's degree in journalism and mass communication, went back to Cameroon, and I came in Yaoundé. I started being used as a mass boy, because the general manager at that time would want me to come with him wherever I was going to celebrate mass or to have a bishop say some mass or some priest say some mass. I told him, this is not me. I am I'm a journalist reporter, but a programs person. I like to be creative in what I do. So I told him I'm going back to Buea, and I went back to Buea, and Gideon Tucker, who was station manager at the time, and John Dane, that's another name that we should remember, called me one day to the meeting and said, we want to revive a program, Radio Buea Magazine. It has been like this, but it died. Can you revive it? I said, as long as you let me do it my way. They said, go ahead, we give you the go ahead, do it. So that is Radio Buea Magazine, is talking about little issues in the community, having reporters, different journalists who go out for assignments to come back and give reports on that program as to what is happening in, say, Ekondo Titi, or what is happening in, I don't know, Fontem or whatever. So we always had those things. And because of that, we're able to build programs that people will listen to, programs that will attract the public to listen, especially in those regions where they were hardly heard on the radio or hardly seen anywhere else outside where they are. So it became something to challenge yourself that I can do this program, and you pick up the pieces, put them together, and build the program, broadcast it. The first edition is usually the most challenging because if you broadcast and the next day there's no reaction from the public, it means you did not succeed. So what you do is we didn't have any surveys. We could not ask, make phone calls to find out if the program received anything. But what we had was letters would come in from the public. They had letters that came in to tell us that this program, we received it, it was like this, it was like that. We would like to have more of it. So that encourages the journalist, the producer, to go ahead and continue to work on that program. Right. So programs were initiated by individuals who built it out of their own professional acumen, and they learn how to put facts together to make sure that the program is worth listening to.
Correct. To package it in a way that it's worth listening to. People don't understand. Radio isn't easy because you see, you can do.
Easy.
No, because you don't see anybody doing. You know how you can be more drawn in if you are watching somebody because they are gesticulating, they are talking, they are blinking, they're smiling, or they're laughing. You don't have that. You don't have that. You're there behind the microphone. You really, at the time, have no clue whether anybody at all is listening.
And you won't believe it. You won't believe it that some of the journalists, the producer, the people that made the programs, they will do the programs, and when they are broadcast, administrators come in with their big stick. They want to beat you up because you said something they didn't want said at that time. For example, I had a program, this Radio Boya magazine. I always pick quarrels with Mr. Taka, but he understood, he was a professional. But the administrators that is from the governor through the GOs to sub-GOs and so on, they will not tolerate certain things that we said. They thought that we were going above and beyond what we should do. We said, no, we're informing the people. We gather the facts. The facts are always there. There is an administrator who wanted my script. And I told him, in my profession, we don't give our scripts to administrators or to anybody for that matter. And it ended there because my boss, that is Gideon Taka, stood my ground, and helped me to let the administrator know that, no, our scripts are our scripts. That is what happened to Cameroon Report. Cameroon Report was scattered in 1981 because they wanted to kill the program. The first head of state, the first president of Cameroon, liked the report. He liked the program, especially when I was running it, because he would send, may he rest in peace, Mr. Christian Bongwa, to me on Sunday. He knew that he was Catholic like me, so we used to meet at Catholic Church in Legefa. So Mr. Bongwa would call me in the back and said, what you did today is fine. The big man is listening. That's how they refer to him. The big man is listening. So keep it up. So I will come back and tell the team that we are not doing a bad job. It's being listened to.
You got the thumbs up.
Yes, the thumbs up from upstairs. So please, let us keep doing it. We did it until 1981. They scattered all of us. I went to Boya. Everybody else was sent to a different station and so on and so forth. But Cameroon Report changed the name after 1982 from Cameroon Report to Cameroon Calling. Because George Tanyi, who was the succeeding editor, producer, presenter, thought this program cannot die. So in order to turn around from the crooks, from those who thought they were the bosses, change the name, change the scope, but the content,
the substance was still the same.
The substance remained the same. So we had the program Cameroon Calling to Cameroon. From Cameroon Report to Cameroon Calling. Yes, and it continues today. I don't know how it goes. I've not been listening, so unfortunately not.
Yeah, I haven't either. But I remember the days. We would hear, okay, this will have gone. They'll just go missing, and then they'll back, and then it used to just be back and forth like that with the Sam Novala Funkens, with the Akwanka John DeForce, Victor Piengome.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a trying time, but the journalists of the time stood their ground and they did what they had to do to keep the public informed.
Correct.
To keep the public informed.
And stay credible. Credible.
Yes, and stay credible.
Yes. Yeah. You hear something from there, you don't later on hear, no, oops, no, they misspoke, and no, this person did not really die. There really wasn't a coup d'etat there. There really wasn't a thing. You have to come and backpedal and say, no, that was, yeah. You believe what?
We always made investigations. We always made sure that whatever we presented was factual, verifiable, and so on.
Correct. Correct. I know that because my father had his own little transistor radio that was permanently tuned to the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. You were not to touch that radio. The dial was, you turned the thing. The dial was set there, and you don't touch it because it comes and he listens to the news and everything. I remember when Kwame Nkrumah passed away. It was something which, it was like, wow. They heard about it, and then they said, let us also confirm and see, you heard on the news. Let's confirm and see what the BBC is saying. BBC. And then that's when you knew, oh my goodness, this has really happened, and they were all shaken by it and stuff. Those are the things we didn't quite get the grasp, the depth of it in hindsight. I just imagine.
You wouldn't believe that I still refer to the BBC today when I hear something, because the world today is the world that everybody can say anything. When I hear something, I tune to the BBC or I Google BBC and I read from them directly. And I have their link, so I go straight to them and I verify.
Yes. Before you go around the place saying something which does not happen, you're sure that there's a source that has verified it before you actually go ahead and put it out there, because you're serving a public. To retract news is not the same as once you put it out there.
No, once you put it out, it goes like wildfire.
It's gone. So that's why, to be credible, you all have to take your time, do your homework, and do the presentation, and also balanced, in a balanced kind of way that gives the information, and let us then be the judge of what it is that we are hearing. So how do you draw the conclusions?
Yes.
This is an awesome thing to listen to. I tell you, I don't know that we can ever thank you all enough for the diligence in doing those programs day in, day out, and for it not to sound exactly the same as the next one, or we'll get bored. So
I appreciate my colleagues of the time, because nobody let down their guard, nobody relented, nobody gave up. We stood our ground, we did our work, and we made sure that, as may he rest in peace, Luka Nanga always said, facts are sacrosanct. That is, make sure that they are verified and verifiable. So we always made sure that whatever we did, we never just got it from the fire and put it in the fry pan, or from the fry pan put it in the fire. No, we always made sure that it was well cooked. We always, I'm repeating myself, so unfortunately.
No, that's
always made sure.
It's worth repeating.
We trusted each other, so much so that if you say, look, please give me a report on this, or give me 5 minutes on this, or give me a minute of your time to say this, he will not just straight come to the studio and say it. He goes back to his office, he does his reading or his read up, then he comes back and he says, Asong, I'm ready, let's go, let's do what we have to do. Yes.
Wow.
So today, I don't know how the journalists are doing it, but sometimes I hear something and I begin to ask myself, is this the same radio through which I passed? Is it the same radio through which I passed? Because sometimes you hear something and you begin to wonder, could I have done that if I was still there? Would I have let that go if I was still there? So some of us happen to have the axe, the hammer and the nail. We had the hammer, but the star were the nails. But we always made sure that before we hit the nail, we are verified to be sure that the nail was right in being where it was, or in saying what it said at that time.
Correct. And as I've said it before too, I'm repeating my own self too. We sensed it. We the listeners got that impression. And by the time you're talking about this 1970, I was in elementary school, in primary school. We still knew, some of us were avid radio listeners. We still just write down everything from classical music. Late Bernard Fanon used to do classical music. There was a classical music thing on Sunday evenings that he used to do. I'd listen to that. There was even the request show that Mama Myombo used to do.
Oh,
Late
Mama,
MM, God
Mama,
rest his soul.
God rest his soul.
For
Yes.
the listening and dancing pleasure of so and so. They will
Yeah.
read the names and read the names and read the names, and then we are which play the song now. We want to hear this
Yes.
this song, but he's reading the names of who it's been requested for, and you will just be just so thrilled and delighted to hear a name that you know, and then they play the song, and it was something. It really was.
That
Every
radio
single
boy, yeah, that radio boy request and the Meet the Patients program and the Cameroon, I mean the radio boy newsreel. Those were three
right,
programs that identified Radio Boya and made Radio
correct.
Boya stand out and make sure that its listeners listened to it. And you wouldn't believe it, we used to have reports from as far away as the Scandinavian countries and from
Wow.
Australia. People used to send us greeting cards. You remember those greeting cards?
Right. Those
Yeah,
cards,
yeah,
yeah, you write at the
they'll
back.
fill them out and say, receive Radio Boya on this frequency at this time. And I mean, we used to verify those things and realize that, yes, we were not a very powerful station, but our reach was far,
Correct.
especially
If
to
only
the
you had
Scandinavian, yeah, especially
the
to Scandinavian countries.
imagine that. If
Yes.
you had even had the transmitters that were able to actually broadcast even further,
Who
it would
were
have
four
made it.
kilowatts? Who were 4 kilowatts? And I think we were still 4 kilowatts. At that time, the transmitter was 4 kilowatts down there in class quarters.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness. That
Yes.
is the thing. Quality, top-notch journalism done and dished out with so little.
But thanks to the determination of the technical team and the journalists who did it. Because if the will is not there, nothing will happen. The equipment can stand there, but it will not work. So, but the technicians especially, they always made sure that Radio Boya's reach remained solid.
Yes. We listened, we heard.
Yes.
No matter where it is that you went, you had a little dial there. You sometimes you hung the radio, hung the radio somewhere, trying to get a good reach. Oh my goodness! And then of
Yeah.
course we're about to talk about the sports part of things.
Oh,
Because
sports. Yes.
yes,
The
yes,
days of Zachary Nko, when he moved from Yaoundé to Buea, the day of Zachary Nko when he was in Yaoundé, the days of Peter Esoka, those are the people who held the sports desks in
exactly.
Radio Yaoundé and in Radio Buea.
Right.
Yes.
Because
And yeah, not to cut you short,
please go on.
one of my former staff wrote to me 2 weeks ago, Theologian Mafira. He worked in Radio Buea with me for a long time.
That's
I
a name
was
I recognize.
surprised that he was able to get my connection and write to me to say, Mr. Asong, I still remember you and you made me who I am, because he started his career in Radio Buea and we made sure we helped him. We didn't care whether you were French speaking or English speaking. We gave you the same kind of training. We put you through the grill and we tested and tried you until you were able to do it before we let you do it.
We used to hear those names, the Chilejan Mafira you just said there. There was Watonsi Wakabamba.
Yes.
That we used to hear there too. It was Paditani. Those are the names that we used to hear.
Yes.
You don't necessarily know what they looked like, but you would hear those names.
Yes.
Doing a phenomenal job, each one in their own sphere, whatever caught their
Each one
attention.
in their own sphere, yes. There was no letting go because everybody who came to the radio, I think at that time, believed that they had an assignment to do. And they did that assignment. There are few who came and played around, but many came and made sure they stuck to their guns. They went out for the way the station works. They provided the facts. They made sure that they followed up on a story to be able to get a feedback, a second opinion before they broadcast it. They did not just come and say, oh, today is like this. No, they always made sure they verified the information they gave out.
Right. All those names, I mean, as I've said, for those who are still alive and well enough to hear it, we are grateful. We are grateful. Not everybody wrote the postcard at the time, or not everybody maybe called in because you don't have a phone to even call in. But if you see people who listen to their radios, look at those games, those matches that we went and played out there. There was absolutely no other way to know how that match was progressing.
Yes.
Except the radio.
Yes.
So you hear Peter Suka's voice that going on there, and we're like, so we're doing this. Hey, and shaking. Because
Yes.
you don't know, you're watching the actual players kicking that ball. It was going by. So can you imagine sitting down there and then yelling goal, and then it was not a goal? I mean, then the rest of us, how will we do? So you have to be
Oh,
responsible
Zachary.
even with that.
Yeah.
Yes,
You made me think of Zachary Cole. He was my senior in Sase College, but also my senior in the profession. But
correct.
we worked like finger and nail. Yeah, he called me bro, and I call him bro. So brother. So that is how we lived our lives. And he was the voice of Radio Boya when he went to Boya. He had been the voice of Radio Cameroon, but things worked out the way they worked out, and he decided to go back to Boya. He grew up in Tico, so that's
Right.
why he went back to Boya. He said he cannot continue to be in Yaoundé, but things happened the way they happened, and we let go. We said we took them in, accepted them, but we did not fight back, because you could not fight back, because nobody is there to protect you as such,
Correct. To back you,
to
yeah.
back you up. Yes, and the
Yeah.
times were changing, especially from 1972. Things gradually changed to something else, and many of us said we are doing this because we had vowed to do it.
Right.
Because we accepted the responsibility from day one to do it, and we stuck with it.
Right.
And I always say the journalist is watched 24/7 by the administrators, especially in countries like Cameroon, where they think that you ought not to say what you say.
Correct.
So just have the courage to say it.
All the
Personally,
same.
I trusted in my God, because I am a Catholic. I was baptized into the Catholic Church, and I believe strongly that God is watching
Oh, let me see. I don't know if
what
I'm
we
the
do.
one.
And I believe
Okay,
so.
sorry. There was the. Sorry, please go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. No,
Yes.
there had been a little
Yes. So
lapse. I think it was from my
yeah,
end, the technical one.
yes, I believe in what St. Paul says in 2 Corinthians about the need to be who you are, to do it relentlessly, trusting that he is listening and watching you, watching over you, ensuring that if you make a mistake, it is not because you wanted to make a mistake, it is because something happened. So I trust in that, and I believe that we have to work as firmly and as strongly as we were made to be, because if you give up on your calling, then you are losing it. So never give up on your calling. If you are called to be a journalist, as I think Martin Luther King said, do it so well that nobody will question you why you did it that way. Correct. If you want to trek, keep trekking until you reach your goal. If you want to climb the mountain, climb until you can no longer climb. But whatever it is, be yourself, trust your God, and do what you have to do as best as you can. Correct. Don't look back.
Correct. That is I don't know what else to add to that. That is a way, if we all took our jobs that way, and you did your my mom used to say, but you're doing the job, here as a human being, but that you're actually answerable to to a higher power, even a higher power than an ordinary human being. So have you done it to the best of your conscience, to the best of your ability? And
Yeah.
we could see that. We could see that, especially in that team of Cameroon Report people that were doing, where we knew would hear, we ourselves listening at home would go and go when we heard some of the things said. I know that the team, and many of them have even moved out here after a while. They just came on out here to the United States, which is where you are right now as well. I know when we first got here, Julius Mommy was our neighbor in Virginia there at the time.
Okay. Yes.
At the time, yes, people who had been part of the group. But if we go on, if we continue at this rate, there will be no end to this chat.
It's up to you. You want us to continue chatting?
I think what we'll do, there definitely has to be a part two to this. There has to be a part two to this, so that we can get people to listen to all of this one, and then get a part two to this, so we can actually just hear more about the anecdotes this time, about what happened behind the scenes, because we know what we heard was the how would I call it, the part that went well,
Yes.
everything. But then what it took to get what we heard, I'm sure there were times when people were running late, or there were times when you thought you were talking away and it was not even really being broadcast. And that kind of
You
stuff.
won't believe it. You won't believe it. But one of those things that you will want to hear is how some of us survived. Some of us survived because we decided to do it. You won't believe that when I got back to radio, when I was sent to Buea in 1981, I got to Buea and my first paper on Cameroon report was, where is the oil? You know, Cameroon had been producing petroleum since the 1970s. So I got to Buea and I wrote this paper, where is the oil? And I was sent a plane ticket. The Tico Douala Road was not built yet. I was sent a plane ticket to report to Yaoundé the next day.
Oh, wow.
Luckily, my colleagues in Yaoundé had already handled the groundwork. So when I came, they said, you have to report to the minister. When I reported to the minister, he talked. Well, of course, not talking to you, but talking down on you. And you said, I did my job because other countries measure petroleum in barrels. Cameroon has been measuring in tons. So how many tons make a barrel? How many barrels make a ton, and so on? So the man was like, are you still so persistent? I said, Mr. Minister, we do our job through investigation. He said, okay, give me the paper. I said, my colleagues in Yaoundé have already told you that we don't give our papers to anybody. We don't give our scripts to anybody. He said, Mr. Chumofo, may he rest in peace, was the Secretary General. He was sitting there watching me talk. The minister said, oui, Monsieur Asonglefac, comme vous dire en pidgin, if you know to protect your Gary, I protect my Gary. These were the words of the minister to me in 1982. In 1981, rather, in 1981.
Oh my gosh.
If you know to protect your Gary, I protect my own. I just said, well, Mr. Minister, thank you very much for cautioning me. I'll be more careful next time. I'll do my job the way I was taught how to do it, and I will never relent. Mr. Chumofo, when we were going out, he said, also, were you not afraid? I said, Mr. Minister, Mr. Secretary General, why should I be afraid? I've not done anything wrong. I'm just telling the facts as they are. So there is nothing I did that was out of place. So that is one of the things you want to know about how we survive. We survive through
the behind the scenes account. Yes. Oh my goodness. So just a quick little bit before we go back, and promise we're going to have to do part 2 of this, but just a quick window into what life has been like for you post journalism, because you've retired. You're now here. You're coming to us from the United States. What is it? The Maryland, right?
Maryland.
Yes. And you've been out there for quite a while.
Yes. I left Cameroon in September 1998. I'm a historian, so dates are a masterpiece in my mind. So I came in 1998, and the fact is, I won the lottery. The diversity lottery, which is now being stopped by the present administration. So I came with my entire family of 7, 5 boys, my wife and myself, and we got here, and we've lived here since then. When I got here, I went back to school. I did a master's in teaching English to speakers of other languages. Yes, not because I wanted to do another master's degree, but because I thought the school system needed people who could teach English to speakers of other languages, because I was already labeled as a speaker of another language. So I did that, and I got a job with the Parent Liaison Office, where we worked with parents from other countries that were coming to the United States. We oriented them on, we organized and educated them on how best to fit in. Some got jobs through us, some did not, but we helped them to put their feet on the ground, be able to get jobs, have their kids in school, and know how to follow up on their children's education. Because you and I coming from the continent, we thought that school is for the teacher and the students. But we realized in this country that the school is 3 parts. the teacher, the parent, and the student. So the
Correct.
three must work together to be able to do what they have to do. So I was into teaching. I taught citizenship at Montgomery College. The program too has just been ended because of 1 year ago. So the program too has changed, has stopped actually. So I taught citizenship, and I always had 97% success rate because my students who learned how to become US citizens, whenever they learned, they went for the interview and passed.
And we're successful.
So it was a clarion call for me to not let go, to not give up.
Right.
So I persisted in that, but I continued to work with the school system, helping parents, especially French-speaking parents, because one of the reasons I was originally employed by the school system was because I could speak French, thanks to my days in Yaoundé.
Correct.
So I helped parents, but a year ago, there comes a time, as I told myself, to let go. I have growing grandchildren, so I thought I could nurse them rather than nurse other children, other people's children. So I came home, and you would have seen one this afternoon, but he had to go somewhere else. So
yes,
I have that, and my joy has been that I help parents, I help non-citizens find their feet, find their jobs, find a way to go, and keep up with life, live the life they dreamed of when they came to this country, because the opportunities are there, but if you don't know how to identify and follow up on them, you will lose your way. So I always encourage people to stick together, to stick up and stand firm and do what they have to do. Some have been calling me, some parents, one parent called me 3 months ago to say, mais ta fille a gradué l'université. I said, what are you saying? Say it in English. I taught you English, so speak in English. Say, yeah, your daughter graduated from the university with a degree in, I think, some science, something. Yeah, so I said, that is good, because when you came, I did not let go of you. I made sure that I followed you. I made sure you followed your children's education, and they have succeeded. Now you are happy. He said, no, we're very happy. So please, thank you very much for what you did for us. I said, thank you because you listened to me. You did not give up on me. Thank you.
I cannot say, I don't know how to talk about, because I'm in education myself, to
Yes.
say how valuable, how fundamental, how important what you're doing there is. Because as you said, people come out here, they cannot find their feet. And that push, that encouragement, that orientation about where to go, what to do with things, that can make or mar you in this place. You know, the people who have gone off the track and
Yes.
everything, it's for want of direction, for want of orientation. This is what to do. Here's where to go to get this kind of thing. Apply for this, apply for that, fill out this form, fill out this one out. It can be daunting and confusing because it's so different from
Yes.
what we are used to where we come from. So I've been
This
doing
is
the same thing here
paper,
on a, sorry.
this is a paper-based society.
Oh, yes.
They
Yes.
count so much on paper.
Oh,
You have
yes.
to, if they say fill this form and you don't fill it, you lose your way.
And they don't even understand what it is that they're feeling. I had to do that. That is, it's not my official job, but sometimes they actually send somebody to cover my classes, and I have to go and actually help because they're trying to explain something to somebody, and they just don't get it because it's not a concept that they're used to.
Yes.
I even had one who filled out the form incorrectly. They're trying to apply for free and reduced lunch. You
That's
know, so
that's
you
yes.
correct. You now need to put your income that shows that it's low enough where you can your
You
children
deserve.
can benefit from that. And
Yeah.
that poor lady, she says she filled the form out. She does not know, she's in tears. They're not allowed. They did not grant her the thing. She's still having to pay for meals. I'm like, let me see the form. Poor thing, where they said to write down what she made monthly. She had put her annual income.
Okay.
And so they're
Yes.
like,
They
you're a
said it's too high.
billionaire.
So they said
You,
it's too
you,
high. Yes.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if you're making this amount in 1 month,
Yes.
how do you
Then
qualify
but
for
for free and
so I was
reduced
saying,
lunch.
yes. So I was saying, c'est pas un truc mensuel. C'est pas annuel, c'est mensuel. She's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, you know, that kind of a thing. And she
That's
was
it.
wondering why her thing had been rejected. I'm sure
Yes.
the people looked at it and got and went, if you're making this amount of money per month, she had put her yearly income there.
Oh
But
no.
she wasn't making that much. But it was still like with the document looking the way it was there. If you're making this amount of money, you don't.
Then why are you asking for free and reduced lunch? Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So there are those little things that even placement things to place them. Where do they come? Because you have a different school system.
Yeah.
Are you the co-elementaire? What was co-elementaire here? What's the equivalent
What
here?
is it?
You went. Oh my goodness! All of that stuff. So I think I'm thanking you all over again for the new kind of work you did out here. The journalism
Well,
work you did.
I had to start somewhere because
Right.
I went to the Voice of America in the first place, and they told me they'll put me on contract and I work as long as the contracts to be done. I said, no, I'm a family person. I've growing up children, and I don't want them to not to miss their classes because I didn't pay their fees or something like that.
Right.
So better not do that. So I gave
something that you wanted, something that is stable.
That's right. I wanted
reliable. You're sure to get this at the end of this.
Yes, I went into the school system, and it was worthwhile. It was worthwhile. Yes.
I would agree. I mean it, and so it's very gratifying. It may not be a very wonderful high paycheck,
not at
but
all.
it is very gratifying in so many other ways.
That's right. That's right.
All right, sir. All right, Ni. Well, I said I'm going to call you Ni.
Well, if you want to go the Banso way, I mean, I don't mind it.
I like that. I like that. That's a mixture of some fondness, but with some respect still.
I don't want to give you the Bangla one, which says Ndo, which means senior brother. So I don't want to go that. Don't go that way. Go Ni.
Stick with Ni. Okay, yes, I'll stick with Ni. Yes. So I would say
whatever we do, if you're thinking of second follow-up or a follow-up, call on me. We have our numbers. We communicate with each other anytime, any day.
We will gladly. It's an honor and a privilege for me. And I know this is going to be something that's going to really warm the hearts of all the millions of people who listen to you, who know the name, and who just wondered, where is he? Where is he?
That's right.
Yes. And we don't want it to be the kind of thing where just a couple of months ago now, I put together something about Ben Jovens, God rest his soul, put it out there. And you'd be amazed. The people came and said, Il est décédé depuis quand?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and it was sad that by the time they got to reconnect, he was not there anymore. So no, this is what we want. We'd rather have this. See you sitting there talking about your life, your family's doing well, your grandchildren are there. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. The people who never even saw the young you.
Yes.
Because you were on radio. Who would be glad to see you now. But I saw you and you haven't changed much. You really haven't.
Thank you very much. Haven't. I feel very flattered.
No, this is the truth though. You really
thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. For now, we'll call it quits for now. But I promise.
I'm very grateful.
We are the ones that are thanking you.
You do not hesitate to reach out to me.
I would.
When I responded to one of your publications, I mean, when I saw it, I said, I know the name, I don't know the person, but let me just reply. Because usually when I go on Facebook or on my messenger or whatever, I see things that need my reaction. I give that reaction because I'm still in the education world, and I still trust in giving out what is in me to share it with other people.
And just to give a background on that, the first time that I said, because you reacted to quite a few, which is when I started to find your information and reach out to you. But the major one was when I posted something about late Mark Nebo.
Yes.
Yes. You came and spoke. Mr. George Gua came and spoke as well. Auntie Mary Namudu Kamara came and spoke as well. And I'm like, yes. And I said, wow, look at all of this. These are people who, and other people were reading the comments, read it and knew to come and say, wow, wow, wow. Others reached out to me and said, is that the real Asonglefac Nkemleke? I'm like who? You know another one? don't you see what he is saying there? He's talking about what he knows. And then, so thank you, because if you had not come and responded to that comment, I would never have been able to find you.
But I'm happy that you did. I'm happy that you did, because I mean, I communicate from time to time with Mary Camera, but that is different. So when you reached out to me and mentioned that Mary Camera, you communicated with her also, I said, oh no, I'm available in case you need me for anything. I did not know that you do this program. I did not know.
Right. There's this there. I like the whole idea of information too. And because we tend not to archive things like I believe we should, I believe in doing something like this, put it out there. Tomorrow, when somebody Googles the name, you can find something that he said himself from his own mouth. He
That's
gave the
right.
dates correctly there. You don't
Yeah.
start making up something else and saying it was your father or your grandmother who did so and so thing when it was.
Yes,
Let
that's
us
right.
not use facts to become a he said, she said thing. Not
No,
the
no.
dates are there, and you are just as amazing with them. You just have the dates coming right out like that. And
Yes.
so it's a verifiable thing. So that's the reason for doing this, because I am definitely not a trained journalist at all. My job is
But
just to
you're doing
sit.
a fantastic job. You're doing a fantastic job. Please don't give up. Don't
I
give up. Yes.
this makes it worth the trouble.
Don't
This
give
makes it
up.
definitely makes it worth the trouble, so
Please.
people can know uh how what they see there, where it started, the roots of it. If one day, I keep saying, I hope they do build something, a museum is something, and have people's faces, the portraits there, and their names, and the programs that they did, the way it happens here. You talk about Walter Cronkite, these pictures out there,
Yeah.
old tapes and things, the tapes, I mean, like tape, audio tapes,
Yeah.
video things are there that you can see.
That's right.
We tend not to do the same, and I guess it's the mentality of that we had growing up, where you sit under the tree, the baobab tree in the night, the light a fire, and you
Oh,
sing. Who's
the
doing that now?
good old days no longer exists.
That's
Yes.
not it. We have to go with the times and learn to also archive and document our own things, or
Yes.
it will really be gone.
That's right.
So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for
It's a
doing this
great
for us.
pleasure for me. And please, anytime, any day, do it whenever you want to.
Thank you
I'm
so much.
available. Thank
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
you. I have to.
And
I,
yes,
it's a
we'll definitely,
responsibility.
the promise we'll have a part two.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right then.
Take care and best regards to the family.
They will hear. You do the same for me over there too.
Thank
Especially to
you.
those grandchildren. Maybe the next time we'll line them all up.
Sure, sure, sure.
Yes.
We'll have
All
them.
right then.
Yes.